was in LA on the day, and the phone kept ringing. 9 o'clock Eastern time, was like 6 o'clock, and after about the fifth or sixth call, my wife and I just looked at each other and said, somebody died. Somebody died. And so the next time it rang, picked it up, and we got the news and to go turn on the television, and we did, and then just a pall fell over the day. It was like, I'm from New York, and I had never really been kind of what you call like chauvinistic about New York. Like I didn't like to talk about New York exceptionalism or anything like that. I love the city. I love growing up here. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. But I wasn't one of those people that thought New York conferred something upon you just because it was New York. Like you had to be yourself. But on that day, it was like the world was a New Yorker. And on that day, I felt for the first time that it was my hometown. New York, it is my hometown. But I, as I said, I never was prideful about it. And I just felt like we had been attacked, literally, obviously we had been. And it just felt like such a, that everybody felt just so raw. And I remember just going to like Starbucks that day and running into a couple friends, and everybody just kind of sitting and talking and just numb. And that was it. I felt far away, felt a world away because couldn't get to New York, and that was a flight that I took so many times, New York, LA. And, then 9 months later, our son was born. And we almost 9 months to the day, actually, 9 months less a week. And we always said, Taya Leone, my ex-wife, we always said that Kid Miller was a 9/11 baby. And it was that kind of a feeling where after you went through that initial kind of numbness and shock, you just tried to pull people close, and I got a kid out of it. a kid named Kid.
Have you told your child the story?
Yeah, not in so many words, but I'm pretty sure he knows he's what you call a 9/11 baby. Have you had many 9/11 baby stories on this? No?
You are the first, David Duchovny.
Really? But have you actually researched births 9 months after 9/11 to see if there was a spike?
I believe there was, but that's a good point. I will have to Google and research that. By the way, after that, were you paranoid about making that cross-country flight again?
Yeah, so paranoid. And not so much for myself, because I've always felt like past the age of 40, I always felt like, I've had a good run, I've had a good life. If my plane goes down, well, I'll be bummed out, but I'll be bummed out on the way down. But, I can't complain. But when I had kids and when I flew with them, now that they're adults, I have less anxiety. But when they were young, I would have anxiety about flying with them. And then after 9/11, I did not want to put them on a plane. And I'm not sure that we did. I think we stayed put for maybe a year. I could be making that up, but I don't think we got on a plane for a while. And maybe I did, but I wouldn't put my kids on a plane, for a little while.
How old were your other children then?
I had a 3-year-old daughter, 3.5-year-old daughter. And it's not like you're just putting them on planes all the time anyway, but I really, for some reason, I just had such anxiety about flying with them, because as a father, that's your job it's an impossible job, but you're supposed to protect your children. And when you put them on a plane, you can't do that. You're just giving that up, to the fates or to the pilot or whatever, the weather or whatever,
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just, It's interesting to me that there's not a lot of fiction or movies about 9/11. You know, it's like a subject, it's almost like a sacred thing that people don't want to fictionalize. And I don't think it's too soon. I mean, it's already 20 years ago, right? Almost.
There was
And
Flight 93, and
yeah,
uh, even though of course we knew how it ended or what was going
yeah,
down, I was gripping my seat and I thought this movie should win the Oscar. If something is making me physically grip my seat, even though I know where this is heading, that's a great movie.
yeah. No, I believe that was Paul Greenglass, great filmmaker,
Yeah.
did it. Yeah. And then there was a novel, Incredibly Loud and Very Close or something. And they did a movie of that. And it was kind of about a kid whose father was in the towers.
And there was another movie, and I actually talked to one of the NYPDers who was
Yeah.
involved in the actual incident. It was about saving two people who were crushed by the rubble and trapped.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. He overheard them speaking, you mean?
No. They ultimately went down and did rescue them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Amazing.
was I mean, so many incredible stories. All right. Thank you
Um,
so much. Unless you want to
anything
add
else?
anything else.
I think I'm good. I wish it was more dramatic, but my story has a happy ending.
Your story has a fantastic ending.
All right.
It's actually going to make people smile instead of cry.
Right.
So thank you. Stay safe and well.